Olá, bem-vindo ao Z-Talks, o podcast oficial da Zadara Brasil. Meu nome é Raul César e junto com você, nós vamos entender como que a estratégia de Edge Cloud e Public Cloud pode te auxiliar no desenho eficiente da camada de segurança e redução de custos. E para nos ajudar nessa temática, o nosso convidado tem mais de 29 anos de experiência no mercado de tecnologia, atuando em grandes fabricantes ao redor do mundo e nas principais operações bancárias também. Hoje, ocupa a cadeira de vice-presidente de suporte na Zadara. Baruch Rabá Le Brasil, Fernando Nahum.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure.
Fernando, how Zadara became reality in your life? How your relationship with Zadara happened?
It's a long story, and it's an old story because I'm already more than 10 years at Zadara, working at Zadara. Zadara was founded by a selected team of members that were working together in a previous company.
So they worked together in a previous company?
Yes.
And the same team was selected to create Zadara?
The Zadara management at that time selected several team members of the old company and became Zadara.
Oh, such as a special ops
Yeah,
team.
well, we are as a team that we are working. We know each other for a very long time, and this is one of the secrets
That helps a lot.
that helps a lot to create solutions that are very robust and are very reliable.
Yeah,
So
because
with few team members, suppose you have a football team that is the best team you can get, but they are playing together for 20 years. So we are much more or less the same. This is the same.
the confidence is important. No?
Yeah,
And
so we know how to create storage. We know how to deliver technology, and we already did that in the past, and we are doing for a very long time.
yeah. The content we are going to chat today about, I collected some questions of our partners and our employees as well. Mm-hmm. So if you allowed me, I wanted to read these questions.
Yes, sure.
To drive our conversation.
Okay,
I think
no
it's going to be
problem.
great.
No
okay.
problem.
How Zadara are innovating in the field of hybrid cloud computing nowadays, in our opinion?
Okay, we have two unique things, or almost. One is unique. The other one is almost unique.
Okay.
The first one that is almost unique is that we have a cloud computing that is with the APIs compatible with AWS, with Amazon.
AWS-like experience.
Exactly. So not only the like experience that with VPCs, EC2, etc., but also the API. So a customer that has already Terraforms and uses AWS APIs, he can, with a very few changes, come to Zadara and have an integration to Zadara. No, I would not say seamlessly, but almost seamless. So, and then it's easier to migrate
And to adopt.
and adapt to Zadara from AWS to Zadara. This is something unique. There is no other vendor that has compatibility with AWS APIs and the cloud experience.
Yeah.
The other thing that is really unique to Zadara, and this is not unique because AWS has also the same APIs.
Yeah,
But-
for sure. Yeah.
But the thing that is really unique is that we are the largest edge cloud in the world, and the customer is not the end user, and the MSP, especially the MSP, he's not just acquiring a solution that he can work like Nutanix or VMware or something else, but he acquires the whole ecosystem, and it allows the MSP and the end user to have workloads around the world on the same experience, the same way everything from the same console. This is what we call the federated edge. This is something unique to Zadara. No other vendor of cloud computing has, except of the hyperscalers like Amazon, Google, etc. But they have very few regions. They are centralized in few regions. We have 500 POPs around the world. So the experience is really real edge computing.
And with all this experience of activating more than 500 edge sites around the world, the second question is exactly about this experience. What are the main challenges and benefits of implementing edge computing in companies, such as our partners that are going to sell it for the end customer, such as inside the environment of the end customer as well, in the on-premises environment, for example? What are the challenges you face when activating such environments?
Okay, I will start with the benefits.
Okay.
Let me be optimistic.
Okay, no, sure, for sure.
Okay, the first thing that is good for the end users is the response time. So when you have a hyperscaler, you are not always your workloads run near where you need them. The edge cloud by definition is that allows the customer, the end user, to distribute the workloads exactly when they need. Branches can work within the same city with their workloads, and then the response time is much better. This exacerbates when we are talking about IoT or car self-driving, etc. This is exactly that definition. Even on workloads that are not like that, but also are needed to be near the customer, like inference in AI, it's also the same thing. We need something that with a short response time to the client. This is the first thing. Of course, the local MSPs benefit to have Zadara because they, as I said in the earlier question, they acquire the whole ecosystem. So now they don't have to build 500 sites around the world. Maybe they don't need, but they have the ability to provide that to their end customer and say, okay, we have a ecosystem that is 500 clouds. It's not just this data center. So, and then the customer can leverage, the end user can leverage that ecosystem for the different workloads on the different locations. Especially in Brazil, we have a large amount of clouds spread all over Brazil, which is very important. And then end users can not only run workloads on the same city, but also whenever it is needed. Now the challenges. Let's talk about the challenges.
Okay.
First of all, it's challenging for us to manage 500 clouds. It's not something easy. Amazon does with the whole amount of people they have. They don't do that. They have a centric
data
approach.
Centers, larger.
Yeah, larger data centers, but centric approach. It's a challenge to manage all of them, to support all of them. But again, we have a very secret weapon, which is we have a reliable and robust product, and our professionals are the best in class.
For sure.
We are the quality is the best, the most important thing that we search when we hire and bring new employees. Now, another challenge for the end users and MSPs, especially for the end users, is to migrate monolithic VMware-centric workloads. Now, VMware or bare metal or whatever. So, and the problem is more a state of mind. It's not a technical problem. The problem technically is not a problem at all. There are some challenges, of course, but
There's tools in the market for it as well.
there are tools in the market. Technically is not a problem. There are challenges, of course. It's a new thing, and we need to migrate. Migration always, as one that I did many migrations of many
Hurts a
different
little
things.
bit sometimes.
It's painful. It needs a lot of planning. It takes time. It takes a lot of
Sweat and tears sometimes.
not tears, I wouldn't say tears, but yes, it takes a lot of planning, a lot of off hours to work, weekends, etc. But it's possible to do, and migration, the good thing to do is that you do one time. But and this is the catch. MSPs that are get used to work with flat environments like VMware or bare metal or OpenStack, that they have VMs, and the VMs has its workloads, everything is flat, everything is easy. And then in order to have security tools, usually they have to use or appliances or virtual appliances, but then there are challenges in the network, etc. Now, when we move into Zadara, when they move into Zadara, they have to change the mindset from a flat monolithic
A hosting operation to a cloud
hosting
environment.
exactly for a cloud environment. Cloud environment is a different thing. It's completely different. It's more challenging. At the beginning, it's very challenging for our MSPs and for the end users. But then, with the Zadara help, they see the benefits of the cloud, the benefits in terms of cost, of course, but also in terms of operations. Then we have networking tools inside the cloud, and we have security tools inside the cloud. They don't need to have appliances, and each appliance need to have a high availability appliance, and the cost associated with that. It's much easier once they understand, they change their mindset. So I would say that the main challenge for MSPs and end users is to change the mindset.
Yeah. Is the mindset once set up a habit is difficult to break.
Exactly. They know. We have. I meet with many MSPs, and they say, no, I like to do this way because it's what I
used
did
to do for so many years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the way. Yeah. So we need to educate and explain them that yes, this is possible to do. Also in Zadara, it's possible to work the same way, okay? But they don't get the benefits of the cloud computing.
Yeah, I think the strategy of creating content, such as what we are doing here, is a great tool to explain to the end customer the new possibilities and to gain confidence. Mm-hmm. And right. I want to connect this observation to the next question, because I think it's everything related. What emerging trends in edge computing the companies should keep an eye on? Because I think there is not the edge computing architecture, it's news for a lot of end customers, but I think a lot of new tools the edge architecture can provide for MSPs and end customers. And in your opinion, what is more important on that?
Well, on edge computing, cloud computing, the important thing is, as I say, when the customer or end user or MSP change the mindset and say, okay, now I have a cloud, not just a orchestrator, then it is possible to leverage not only all the networking tools and security tools, but also the distributed workload. Then if I want to do a backup, I can back up to an object storage in another region. That maybe the MSP, they don't have the facility for that, but Zadara has another POP through the federated edge that can offer that thing.
That is already available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then they can think and be creative, and Brazilians are very creative.
Yeah, for sure, man.
To do many things that we didn't think about that. Okay, and they can do things. I see this a lot, also in Israel and also here.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Now, one emerging technology that is on hype currently, at least coming to the edge, is the AI. AI, the part of training big models cannot be done on the edge itself because it requires a lot of resources. However, inference is a different story. Inference and RAG can or a chatbot can be put in any edge cloud, use with the customer data, and then leverage that for the local customers, if we are talking about Brazil, in Portuguese, or anywhere else. Okay, so GPU as a service, AI chatbots, inference is coming to the edge as well. And this is something to keep eye.
Yeah, and I think that when you say about AI on edge, for companies to be able to enjoy this new tool for their privacy data, the security can be a concern when you are hosting this environment in a public cloud.
Exactly.
And maybe the edge cloud can be a game changing in this operation. What are the best cybersecurity practices that Zadara recommends for companies using cloud services such as edge clouds or public clouds, in our opinion?
Okay, well, as I said before, Zadara cloud computing, unlike a flat legacy orchestration like VMware or bare metal, comes already with a set of security tools and networking tools that is possible to leverage. So we have the concept of VPC, virtual private cloud, and segregate different accounts and different customers within the same cloud. We have the concept of security group to do micro segmentation of the and rules and do a micro firewall to segregate and minimize the risk of exposure. We have topologies, and we have virtual routers that allows the customer to create topologies that are secure, and not every VM is just a VM in a flat network, but there are different levels of security and exposure per each instance, and what is the workload the instance do.
Okay, but this kind of tool sometimes the customer already find it in the public cloud, but the same tools he finds in the public cloud had unpredictable costs sometimes.
Well, yes,
and that can be an issue because the budget of many companies are shorter when you say about security concerns. And how do you think is a good practice to optimize the operation cost on companies with security tools that Zadara can provide?
Well, first of all, in order to optimize operation costs, first it is needed to have a risk assessment. Okay, if we are talking about bare metal and the old legacy thing, there is a big risk. We need the HA, and we need clusters, and we need the appliances to do security in HA and clusters, etc., etc. And we need people to manage them and have expertise on these appliances and upgrades, and every 3-4 years refresh the hardware. In the cloud, as in general, sorry.
No, don't worry.
In the cloud in general, we have already these tools with with no hidden costs. Is very simple. We have all the tools to enhance that security. We have the best practices to make the exposure the minimum possible and the needed exposure, and the risk is minimized because we are in a cloud environment when the end user pays as he goes, and he does not need to pay upfront on hardware and on expertise and on many things. Okay. Regarding the cloud itself and the security tools that we already provide, it's very simple to understand what are the costs of it, and there are no other costs associated and hidden, like refresh or something that is in the small letters.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very transparent and it's easy to understand what are the costs.
So with this transparency, the fact that in our business model he can reach for these tools, but at the same time he had protective costs. And you said earlier that some of these tools can actually replace old strategies, old tools. So that means that these tools of security groups, protection groups, VPC, as you said, by replacing the old tools that the customer used to have in his hosting environment or his bare metal environment, means saving money. Because
exactly.
he don't need
saving
to purchase
a lot of cost. A lot.
He don't need to purchase hardware or appliances, as you said. He doesn't need to keep support and maintenance and licenses and
exactly.
Do you think this strategy of saving money by replacing old tools for new ones can leverage the environment of the customer and can bring the customer to a transformation era of his data on the cloud?
Well, I believe once they get used to have the cloud computing tools, and this is why I always preach all our customers not to stay on the flat network environment and mindset, but go to the cloud computing. By the way, both worlds can coexist on the same cloud. Okay, but they don't get the goodies of the cloud computing. Once we enter into the cloud and we start saving costs, the customer starts saving costs. Then the mindset changes. It's not only about cost; it's about mindset, as I said, and that will leverage the big leap into the next wave of technology. Because if you stay on the old days of the legacy orchestration, VMware is how much is 2005 or something like that, 20 years ago, more or less. How you can be prepared for the next 20 years.
Yes, in the next generation as well.
And the next generation of tools and AI, etc.
And employees as well.
And employees. So the knowledge is currently is democratized completely. The knowledge is everywhere. It's possible to acquire knowledge. And it is a standard. The knowledge is a standard. The tools, the security and non-security, Terraform or automation and things like that are all standard. And then it allows to save a lot of costs, leverage the knowledge to go to the next, to be prepared for the next big wave.
Yeah, amazing. Do you remember any case of partners or end customers that Zadara helped him to understand these tools and to improve the security or reduce the costs in cloud consumption that you can share with us?
Well, I cannot say names,
Okay.
but yes, with more than 10 years at Zadara, I saw many partners, many MSPs that they started at Zadara very small and grow over the time because they once they change the mindset, then they understand the benefits. I can talk about one of our MSPs. I wouldn't say my favorite. It's not
Okay.
good.
No. You got, the other ones become jealous. Or,
Yeah, of course. No, but this is I'm working with them for a very long time. They had multiple data centers
Okay.
with flat VMware technology, legacy technology.
Very traditional.
Very traditional.
Very hosting-like.
It's a big MSP.
Okay.
It's a big MSP, and they had a lot of complexities because of multiple data centers in terms of network security and how to move workloads from one side to another side. Same complexity as many big MSPs have.
Yeah.
Now, when we started with Zadara, they started with the storage only, okay? And once they replace, I think it was NetApp or EMC, that we replace them with our storage, then they saw that they can have flexibility on the storage and create the workloads, the exact workloads that they need for their different applications.
With the VPSA technology.
With the VPSA technology, okay. Exactly. Then they say, okay, but we need to do backups. How we do backups? We have an object storage. So let's. It's not internal. It's for their customers.
Okay.
So they say, okay, now we create VPSAs for different customers. Okay, they create the exact workload without noise from different environments. The VPSA is virtual, is elastic, and is dedicated. And then they say, okay, now we want to sell also backup to our customers. Our customer needs to do a backup. And then say, okay, we have object storage and we have Veeam, Commvault. They have different backup
solutions.
Backup solutions. And they say, okay, you have object storage. Let's bring another object storage. We have multiple data centers. Let's put in different data centers object storage, private object storage that will be shared for the backups among the different customers, and they can start selling without any upfront cost, backup as a service for their customers.
Okay.
Then they understood that the storage thing it was covered, okay, and then we offer them, okay, but if you have this thing for the cloud mindset, they already realize the cloud mindset for the storage, and now okay, let's move on and go into the computing, cloud computing. So why you need to have VMware and licenses and security appliances and networking appliances, very expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Pieces. Let's start with a cloud computing, and because they have multiple data centers, they started with a very small cloud environment. And this is the nice thing about cloud computing in Zadara, that you can start small and then increase. And they started to increase, and then they want, but now I have other customers, new customers that came into that, into the cloud computing, and they want different services, and they want Platinum premium instances with Platinum CPU servers, and we can provide, and everything is in the same ecosystem. Everything is pay as you go cloud computing. Then they even did things with our features that we didn't intend to do. Okay, so we develop features thinking about something, and they took that and started to do things completely for other things. Yes, they were more creative than us, and they interconnected the different clouds and have VPC peering connection between different clouds, and interconnect the storage and the different clouds and DR and backup and many different things that at the first we didn't think about that, but it was possible to do, and they saw that and continue to and squeeze the cloud capabilities to the maximum possible. And they're very demanding, and they are one step ahead of us and saying, okay, we need this and we did that. It's amazing, and they are one of the biggest clouds that we have in the world. We have several big environments. I think they have 4 clouds computing.
4 cloud computing.
And growing, and even growing. There were challenges. Yes, there were a lot of challenges, a lot of hours of planning and on many things. But they are a great success case because they grew up from something and changed the mindset on the way in order to understand. They started with the cloud storage, and they move on to the cloud computing. Now they are amazingly big, and they use the cloud computing to all the possibilities that is possible to do and beyond.
And you said they start using Z storage first.
Yes.
And at some point the need was to provide object storage environments to host data from backup solutions such as Vim and Commvault.
Yeah, exactly.
The same API facility you said in the beginning of our conversation applies to the Z storage as well. The way the end customer can set up the object storage bucket in a Vim environment or in a Commvault, it's similar when he do on a
it's completely compatible with S3. We use S3 protocol, and any MSP can set up its own dedicated object storage and create accounts and buckets for the customers, for the end users, and start backing up different end users into the same
VPSA.
VPSA object storage.
And do you think that data immutability in this kind of environment, it's good to provide?
It's a must-have.
More security on the environment.
It's a must-have. It's not possible not to have immutability. Ransomware attacks happen to. If in the past ransomware, it says, is this something of very big companies, hackers go to big companies? No, they go to all the companies everywhere. You just connect a virtual machine, an instance with a external IP, and leave it open. You will have almost immediately you will have an attack.
Yeah, for sure.
You will have I remember one case in Europe that the customer phoned us. We need help. The MSP phoned us. We need help for our customer. He got a ransomware attack. We don't know what to do, etc., etc. They have snapshots. Say, okay, you create a clone. Immediately create a clone. It's zero storage consuming the clone. It's immediately created. It's immediately
solved.
Immediately they solved, and they were very, very happy because it is very stressing situation.
Yeah, for sure it is.
And it was solved in a few minutes. In a few minutes it was solved.
Yeah, Fernando, I think that backup strategy, immutability, and ransomware attacks, needs another podcast with you.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to invite you further to come back.
I will be
here.
happy to come back to Brazil.
It will be a pleasure for us. So until then, Todarabá, Fernando Nahum. Thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you.
As soluções da Zadara de fato podem te auxiliar a substituir ferramentas tradicionais em uma arquitetura de hosting por uma nova arquitetura, a de cloud, seja no seu ambiente on-premises ou em algum parceiro que utiliza a nossa tecnologia. E isso pode significar um incremento significativo de performance, uma redução muito expressiva nos seus custos operacionais e a possibilidade de você poder adotar novas ferramentas que podem levar a sua empresa e a sua oferta a um novo cenário mais competitivo. Entre no nosso site e peça um contato. Vai ser um prazer conhecer você e te ajudar a desenhar uma solução que atenda às suas necessidades. Eu te encontro no próximo episódio. Muito obrigado.